Hey there, boys and girls. It's Ralph Garman, and you're listening to Talking Codswallop. Good choice.
Hello, everybody. This is Ming Chen from AMC's Comic Book Man. You might know me from the Tell 'em Steve Dave podcast and the I Sell Comics podcast. Listen, I love podcasting. I love talking, but what I really love doing is talking Codswallop.
Hey, I'm Alicia Witt.
I'm Daniel Portman from Game of Thrones. I play Podrick Payne.
I'm Ellipses, and you're listening to the Talking... Okay, I'm Mark Bernard, and you're listening to the Talking Codswallop podcast.
Hey man, it's Kevin Smith, Silent Bob, whose voice you were never used to hearing in the 90s until I started opening it up, man. And that's because I'm a podcaster and you're listening to a podcast, Talking Codswallop, right here, man.
Welcome to this week's Talking Codswallop. God, it's nice to say that. I am Gemma.
I am James.
And I'm back, everyone. Woohoo!
I'm the voice that you were thinking, God, is he back? Is it him again? You had that moment where you thought, hey, hang on, that's Gemma, that's fresh, that's new. James has been doing much of this, but we've kind of got used to hearing his voice when he's talking to other people. Will we get a wonderful break? Well, the answer is salty tadpoles, no. Because rather like, you know, when you're kidnapped and you end up with that wonderful syndrome where you identify the kidnapper, you will identify and learn to love me. Oh, yes, you will. I will be your version of Stockholm Syndrome.
Oh, James, they love you. Yeah, they do.
I'm
and
sure.
I love you, so that's the main thing. I don't really care.
That's the main thing.
No, otherwise.
Yeah, I love you too.
Yeah.
But I will say that for the two people who have unfollowed me on Twitter, I don't know who you are, but like Liam Neeson, somehow I will find you and I will hunt you down and kill you or make you follow me again.
Oh, have two people unfollowed you?
Yeah. I mean, the reality is I have absolutely no idea who they are. I suspect they'll probably just follow me for a follow. I have no idea. It doesn't matter. It doesn't hurt too much. No.
What I might do is I might unfollow you and see if you notice.
Like 6 months later, I go, I think you might have unfollowed me, Jim.
Yeah.
Not so sure.
No, never. Couldn't ever do that. I just couldn't be asked. That's the reason why, not because I like you.
The strangest thing is it seems to be the people who've unfollowed me. I literally have no idea who they are, but I always think, is he going to be somebody that I kind of know or whatever that isn't following me? Or is it somebody, you know, who's like a celebrity that I've followed, who follows me, who's then unfollowed me? But touch wood, so far, the celebrities still follow me. So I have no idea. The people you would expect to not follow me are still following me, which is cool. I love it. I probably jinx myself now, but yeah.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Well, absolutely. So there we go. You know, James only just dropped a couple of things on the floor there that you need to pick up. You know, celebrities follow me. Ooh.
Well, yes. Yes. Well, I can't. What can I say? Hey, you know, it's all good. It's all good.
Yes, and rubbing shoulders with celebrities.
I'll tell you who doesn't follow me that I'd really like to follow me. Brian Johnson. But he follows somebody. But he follows somebody else in this conversation.
He doesn't actually. He unfollowed me.
Oh, Brian!
I know,
Brian.
But, you know, I'm not really that worried. Do you know what I mean? It's not the end of the world. But yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why he unfollowed me. But you know, maybe he was just getting, you know, because obviously I do a lot of sharing of other people's stuff on that page as well. So, you know, maybe he just got sick of seeing that or something. I don't know, you know. Anyway, thanks for bringing that up. You know, I really, you know.
Painful memories, yeah.
I had a car accident. I nearly died. And then you reminded me of Brian Johnson.
That's what I'm here for. You miss this kind of stuff. I was going... See, you laid the trap for me to make a car accident joke or comment, but I'm not going to do it because I'm not a nasty person.
Well, to be fair, I was going to say that, you know, it's at first it was really, really funny hearing all of the dear comments, and this episode is possibly going to be called Oh Dear. And for anybody who doesn't know, I will go into the story in a minute. But yeah, I did have to sort of politely suggest to a couple of people, you know, dear friends, being, well, not yourself really, because I, you know, like, I was speaking to you about it, and then you said, "Oh my god, I can't believe I just did that. I'm so sorry." But you know,
I experienced a human emotion. Very strange.
I know.
Kind of made me feel unclean. I had to have several showers afterwards because I just felt dirty and wrong that I'd had a pleasant human emotion. I am just going to interject because you were saying "dear friends." So is that a joke I can run with?
All right, the puns end after this episode's finished.
Yes.
No, I'm fine with it, and it does, you know, it has made me chuckle. Unfortunately, there's a couple of people that do take it a little bit too far, but you know, never mind. That's on them, not other people really. But yeah, there was a couple of people that I sort of mentioned to, because yeah, basically, just in case people don't know, I'll jump into why I've not been here for a while. That one evening I was driving back from pool, which will mean nothing to literally nobody else apart from me. And it was sort of like about 11:30 at night. And then a deer ran out in front of my car. Yeah, I had no time to brake. I was doing 50 mile an hour. And well, actually, I was probably reducing down a little bit because it was coming up to a 40 zone. So I was just, you know, slowly going down a little bit. But yeah, this deer ran out in front of me and completely crushed my car. So yeah, it's been a horrendous time, to be completely honest. All of the airbags went off, and it was honestly, it was terrifying because, you know, I mean, I've said before, I hate the sound of balloons popping. So, you know, imagine having 4 or 5, and actually it was 6 airbags around me because the 2 in the back went off as well, all exploding, all at once. And, you know, like having the steering wheel sort of like all of a sudden there's a pillow in my face, you know, kind of thing. It was horrendous. And it took me like a couple of minutes to kind of realise what happened, if you know what I mean. Because I think I was just in a state of shock, and I was just like, at that point, I wasn't worried about whether I'd got hurt. It was more the fact that I had killed the deer, because I was so sad about that deer, because I love animals and stuff. Yes, I eat them, but you know, I love animals so much, you know, and it was so horrible to, you know, experience that and actually kill the animal and stuff like that. But I then kind of got my wits about me and realised, because basically the road that I was on was a real countrified road, so didn't have any street lights. It was pitch black because it was like 11:30 at night, and I then thought, oh crap, I better put my hazard lights on, and did that and called the police as well, because where I was, it was a dangerous area, and also the you know, the road, I was sort of blocking the road and stuff like that. So if anybody came down the road quite fast, because again, it is a fast road, that they could have had an accident as well because of where my car was, and I could have got further hurt and stuff like that. So I called the police, and very, very nice. I can't speak high enough of them, to be honest, because they literally came out to me, and they helped by moving my car. I couldn't, because of the area again, I couldn't get hold of anybody with regards to like insurance people at the time because the signal was so poor. I was lucky that I was able to actually call the police, and also the policeman actually gave me a lift home as well. So they gave me a lift, a good 40-minute drive back to home as well. So, I mean, like I said, I can't falter them one bit. They were so lovely. They were fantastic. Injuries wise, I mean, it's insignificant in some ways, but when the airbags went off, I was quite bad, burns on my fingers, and yeah, that was really bad. I've still got the scars And that's like 3 weeks on almost, I think, or maybe 4 weeks on. I'm not even sure anymore. But yeah, I've still got the scars on my fingers from the burns. But I think the thing that I was most worried about was the fact that my hearing had gone completely in my right ear. And it was obviously because it was such a loud bang. I've sort of Googled it since. It was, I think it's like 170 decibels. And normally if you're in a crowd of people, it's like normally 120. So 170 right next to my ear was obviously very sort of detrimental, really. Yeah, so I was really, really concerned about the fact that had gone off. And my ear remained ringing, like it's almost like, when you're in a nightclub kind of thing. And, when you've been too close to the speakers, your ear goes, wee, really loudly and horribly. But since then, I've got this continuous buzzing in my ears. So I think I've got really, really bad tinnitus now. But the reason why I was worried about my hearing, other than the obvious, because I couldn't hear. I was more worried about it with regards to the podcasting. So I was really, really anxious that I wouldn't be able to do like the editing and I wouldn't be able to record and things like that because it might affect me and stuff. But time touch wood very gently because the dog's on his own. It seems to be okay. It seems to have not affected me that way, but yeah, continuously buzzing. So I might have to go and get that sort of checked out by, I think Boots does a hearing test or something like that. So may have to go and get that sorted soon. So, but who knows? Hopefully it's not too bad. And, hopefully I can just like learn to live with it and stuff like that. So, but yeah, so it's been a trauma. I mean, it's safe to say that I'm extremely nervous when it comes to driving now. And I really, I had a hire car for a little while, and I think, because it was a hire car, it wasn't my own car, I was quite nervous with regards to driving that as well. But I still haven't managed to drive on the road that I had the accident. So I think I need to kind of get myself past that, hopefully soon. But I'm not going to push myself either because I just need time. I just need time to sort myself out, basically. So yeah, so that's kind of ends the story of where I've been for the last few weeks. Luckily, we had some banked episodes, didn't we, James?
Certainly did. Now, also, I'd like to say, most importantly, the big thing on this is that you are, in fact, better. You didn't get killed. So the car your car got mangled, but getting a new car out, but that's good. But I reckon, you talk about the damage to your hearing, things like that. I clearly recognise the thing that worried you the most was not being able to hear my voice. I mean, I get it. I dig it. That'd be my fear too. Yeah. But no, the big important thing is that you are okay, because obviously it's a traumatic thing to have happened. And I didn't I touch would have not had an airbag go off on me, but I didn't realise how much understandably they've got to protect you, but I didn't realise sort of like how loud it would be, naively, obviously. Yeah, because like I said, I did a little bit of Googling afterwards, just to sort of have a look to see how loud they actually are. Yeah, and I was quite shocked by that as well. So, but yeah, going back to the deer, obviously, the deer died, so did my car, so but if it was really lucky in the sense that it was either a female deer or it was a young deer, because it didn't have it wasn't a big antlers. Deer that had the massive antlers, because otherwise if that had been the case, it would have easily come through the windshield, because the windshield was fine, which was obviously brilliant. And to be honest, I could have died. If it had been bigger, I could have definitely died. So, But on a positive, Jim, I wasn't in the car with you, because I'd be there going, ice packs, venison. Do you know, I've had that comment a few times, and not just from yourself, but because I was speaking to, our mutual friend Lucy Caton, and she jokingly said to me that,
one thing though, did you manage to take the deer home with you? And I was like, I don't think.
I don't think it works that way.
Yeah. Right, okay. Take 2, because we had a bit of a technical difficulty.
2 or 3. It's one of them. We're going with one of them anyway.
Yes, absolutely. So for the Salty Tadpoles, because I can't be asked to explain, we did have a bit of a technical issue a second ago. For some reason, the system that I'm using did actually decide to pause the show rather than record the show. So that was fun.
Clean Feed hates us. Damn you, Clean Feed.
Yeah, damn you. And damn you for last week's episode as well, because you still kept that bloody bong.
Dre's like, Dre will be listening back, what the hell?
Yeah, because I found a way of being able to record, because this Clean Feed is actually really good, and it records it records mine and James's audio separately, which is obviously brilliant for me to work with if levels are higher and lower or whatever. Mm-hmm. So anyway, there was, just to explain, there was a new way that I was, I was able to do a trial run kind of thing. And a
beta test, so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah. But it actually put, it was so that it would record all 3 people's audio separately. Anyway, so I didn't realise that there was a watermark or a sound mark on the audio. So it goes bong, as you probably heard last week.
Yeah.
There was a hell of a lot more than what was on that episode, I have to tell you, because I painstakingly went through every single bit of audio and took them out. So anyway, where did we get to?
Yeah. All I can say is that we, for free stuff, come on, Clean Feed, come on.
Yeah.
Give us a free thing. Well, not free, but come on, don't charge us. She almost died, for Christ's sake. Come and say, have some sympathy. Send us the whatever version, would cost money. Just, we'll pimp you. But, come on, Gemma almost died, for Christ's sake. Do it. If not for me, for Gemma.
Exactly.
And if not for us, for the poor bloody Salty Tadpoles listening to it going, am I in a room where they're serving dinner distantly down the hall?
Or there's a father clock, what they called a granddad clock.
Grandfather clock.
In the background.
Oh yeah, by the way, Christmas is coming. I really would like a grandfather clock, so if anyone wants to buy me one.
Well, anyway, we got to, because I've just listened back to the audio, so we got to the point where Lucy said that she was disappointed with me that I didn't take the venison home with me.
Yeah.
I think that's where we got to.
Yeah.
But anyway, I wouldn't have expected the police officers to put it in the boot of their car. So
to strapped it to the roof. I mean, to strapped it to the roof. I do understand though, venison, expensive cut of meat. Could have made a bit of money on the side, but I'm not quite sure it works that way. It could be the same ruling as when you hit a pheasant, which is if you're in a car and you kill a pheasant, you've got to keep going. However, the car behind you, if you want to, can pick up the pheasant. I don't understand the whole legality of it, but that's the way it is.
Yeah, that's the case for roadkill in general. So,
right.
Yeah, it's not just pheasants and, yeah. So, well, as far as I believe.
But the interesting question then is, if someone had crept up behind you, so to speak, could they have taken the carcass of the deer?
If they wanted to. I mean, quite a few people actually did go past, and they all checked.
What, they didn't help you?
No. I was going to say, they did actually check to see if I was actually okay. And I told them that I'd called the police, so, I was fine, kind of in that point of view. But, even, and I don't want to be stereotypical, but yeah, even like a couple of chavvy type lads, even they sort of said, "Oh my God, are you okay?" So, that's kind of proof that you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you just have to be concerned by the guy who turns up with a hacksaw and starts dragging the deer away?
Well, as long as the hacksaw wasn't for me, that's all that matters. There you go, people. This is why we needed to start recording again.
The really weird, scary sick stuff's coming out of the conversation now.
Yeah.
It's when where you get really scared is when you're on these nighttime lanes, the car turns up and it's a guy with a funny mask and a chainsaw.
Yeah.
That's when you have to get worried.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's the wrong one, isn't it?
No, that is definitely the wrong one. But yeah, well, no, to be fair, I don't think Jason actually speaks, to my knowledge. In fact, can Jason drive a vehicle? That's a very good question. So people who in the know on horror, Salty Tadpoles, or people from Reels and Heels who are listening to this, can Jason drive a car? I know Michael Myers strangely can, but Jason, been unsure on that one. But either way, I mean, let's be honest, the situation, regardless of who of those it is not going to look good. You know, you've got a chance that if the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Leatherface guy turns up, he may be after the venison. But more than likely, he isn't. And unfortunately, Gemma, you'd be the one, hung up on a meat hook somewhere.
Well, I mean, so
You've got to go.
So this scenario now, I could have died. Yeah. Genuinely could have died if it had been either like I said or like I haven't said already. Yeah.
No, leave them. Don't tell them. Just leave them guessing. Something tell us why. So she could have died. Why? Well, no, she was in a dangerous car crash. And you're going, well, as you know, if the other thing had happened, go, what other thing? What other thing? And just leave them hanging. Tune in, and what we'll do is don't bother putting it into the next episode. Many episodes from now, just to go, yeah, this is what it was. Keep them waiting, keep them when they least expect it. Episode 500. Go, yeah, this is the reason why.
It's a bit like not completely diverting to a different conversation now, but it's a bit like there's a stupid family tradition as a kind of joke thing going on in my family on my mum's side, so that's why it's absolutely bonkers.
I'm not going to disagree with you. Keep going.
No, it's definitely something that you can't disagree with. So basically, there's this. So it's a thing that parents and grandparents do to obviously the small children. So, and that sounded really dodgy. Didn't mean it like that, but it.
Yeah. Do you know when you said that? All I could think of was like when Brian Johnson says about like an uncle that molests you.
Well,
I'm thinking, oh no, please don't go down this route.
No.
Only recently at work we were talking about Christmas songs, and I was saying to one of my colleagues, I said, if you had real balls, you'd be whistling, Rock and Roll Christmas by Gary Glitter. No, but he has to wuss out and whistle Mud. Pussy.
Gary Glitter is in a prison near me, just so you know.
Really? Now, that's an interesting thing to know.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to work out, I said to my colleague, is he in prison still? I'm sure he was, but I didn't know he was in prison in this country. But anyway, we've digressed. Come on back, Salty Tadpoles. It's not, we've digressed from digressing from the original topic we're discussing. This is like we have become the inception of podcasts.
So the oh dear can mean so many things on this episode, I have to say. But no,
oh dear. Yeah.
Just quickly, Gary Glitter is at the Vernon, Portland, and also the place that my dad used to work. So not the time when Gary Glitter was there, but
no,
my dad didn't want to be in his gang.
No, I don't think I want to. I mean, I will honestly say I do like Rock and Roll Part 2. I liked when they used it in the Joker film. But yeah, it's that difficult thing, and we really have digressed of can you disassociate the art from the artist? But that's one for another time. As I said, that'll be for about episode 600 that we suddenly bring that thing to the conversation. So Salty Tadpoles, you've got to keep tuned, because at some point Gemma will tell you what almost killed her. Now, the chances are I won't have a clue what she's talking about, because it'll be that far on in the future, and the conversation will start again. So it will be Inception, the dream within a dream.
And going back to my family tradition thing as well. So basically,
can I before you say it, hang on, Salty Tadpoles are still listening. You have my respect. Hang on in there, guys and gals.
We're not sure if we've been recording for about 20 minutes yet, or if this is just 9 minutes, or what. Oh God.
Definitely Inception. Definitely Inception.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to tell you. Right. So
Yes.
as grandparents and parents always say this saying to
Right.
the younger members of the family. So anybody under the age of 18, which will make sense in a second. So they always say, what's round and brown all the year round?
Christmas pudding?
No. It's not all the year round, is it?
Don't know. It depends how much you really want that Christmas pudding. Illuminate me. Tell me.
No, I can't. Because the thing is that... I will tell you. But the thing is that you
tell me like 12 to 29 episodes time.
Well, actually, I might tell you in 18 episodes time. Do you know why? The reason why is because they always say that to follow it up, because obviously the young person sort of guesses like, I don't know, a poo, a potato, a Christmas pudding in your case, whatever. So, yes, and they go, oh, I don't know. And then you just tell me. And they're like, well, we're going to tell you when you're 18. And it's like, oh. So when your 18th birthday comes around, you're bitterly disappointed because you've been waiting all this time to find out what it is. And I'm going to tell you right now what it is, James.
Okay.
You are sitting on the edge of your seat.
Why not? Yeah. This is going to be the highlight of my year, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a potato.
Fuck's sake. The more worrying thing is that, I apologise for anyone I've offended with swearing. So I do know I've found out that some people who are, should we say, of a more mature disposition listen to us.
Who's that then?
Just people of a more mature age that I know. I would just say I'm bitterly disappointed in that. And please pass that on to the family members who've told that I expected more. I expected a higher caliber of wit. And I mean, come Christmas, just tell them, I'm not only disappointed in the possible joke and the learning. I feel that they've let me down.
Yeah.
They've let you down, and most important, they let themselves down. They know that, don't they?
Yeah, they should. They should know that already. So,
hang their head in shame. Basically,
I know.
If they're saying that on Christmas Day, they need to really think about what they're doing.
Yeah, it's not Christmas Day. It's all year round. It's all year round up until the age of 18.
But specifically, I want them to think, in fact, when they're sitting down to Christmas dinner, I want them to feel good about it. Oh, no. I want them to think about the sadness and the depression they brought not only to me, but the other salty tadpoles. I mean, this is bad stuff. 2020, we thought 2021 was bad. Knowing that we now know the answer to this riddle, 2022 is looking like a real shit show.
I mean, it would have been better if it was a poo, wouldn't it?
It might have... Well, yeah, it might have been, actually. I mean, it would have been a lot better as a Christmas pudding, but, I mean, anyway, emotionally, I'm shattered.
Yeah.
So I think we need to move off this. I mean,
I was going to say just quickly before we do move off it, I think that it's vitally important to say that don't forget that I... from the age of, let's say, 5 to the age of 18, I had to wait for the answer. Because 5, I was probably playing the game along then. So, out of the two of us, I think it's me. You turn 18, you're legally allowed to drink in this country anyway. And you can gamble, you can smoke because you can do all that at 16. All these things, you can do all these amazing things. And then you find out it's a fucking potato. Sorry for the listeners that doesn't like swearing, but I do apologise.
I mean, I would say that if you had been waiting from that young age to 18, it and your family have impressed this riddle upon you as being so vitally important. It explains a lot, Gemma.
And this is why I don't want kids, because I don't want to put them through this.
Well, to be fair, see, I don't like kids. I don't want kids, but because I don't like children, I kind of almost want to have them to destroy any kind of like hope they've got by telling them this. In fact, anyone I know who's got kids, do me a favor, tell them this and make them wait. And I want to, hopefully I'll still be around when they're 18. I want to see what it does to them. I think it'll be a bit like, when you see the light in their eye, the hope that you have as a young person, as a child, when you think everything's really wonderful and great. And will you see the hope, the light go out their eyes? I don't know. It's a tough one. I think you probably will. I think this could be like the litmus test for like a psychopath. Will you make them wait that long? No.
So just to repeat for anybody who wants to play the game, it's what's round and brown all the year round. Okay? And the answer is a potato.
Dear God.
Anyway, moving on. So, James, how have you been?
Well, I was all right until I've been emotionally destroyed by that information through that riddle. If I thought I was having a bad week up to this point, I thought it was bad. I've hit the top of the Himalayas and now basically someone's cut my guide rope and pushed me off and I'm just hurtling towards the bottom at high speed. It's just that's an awful. Again, they've let themselves down. It's awful. But with me, things. I'm kind of back to doing work, not full time, but I'm almost out full time, but I'm doing it as a phased return. I have had my third booster jabby thing for the COVID, and that leaves you a bit blur, but such is. Having, things aren't going too bad. I was feeling all right until, I questioned, the reason to live after that riddle. But, we'll try and move past that.
Yeah. Nobody can move past it. It's amazing.
No, it's yeah.
I eye rolled then, by the way. Nobody could see me, but I definitely did an eye roll. Well, believe it or not, though, James, after all of my moans and issues that I've just had, I still have got codswallop this week.
See, I couldn't ask you how you were because I was just trying to drink some coffee. So how are you this week after we discuss?
Well,
this has been, just before you say anything, this has been quite interesting because we've had recording failures.
Yeah.
The terrible riddle, and it is just terrible. But anyway, this is quite an interesting one for the Salty Tadpoles and for us as the people recording it.
It is, yeah. Oh, I sounded a bit like a leprechaun then, like the Lucky Charms leprechaun.
Oh, hang on.
It is.
See, you're not the redhead I expected with the Irish accent.
Well, anyway, I've been fine. So, we have had 40 mile an hour winds. So, it's been a bit
Did you have
wet
any
and
snow?
windy. No.
You didn't have snow? Yeah, we've had snow, but it hasn't been too bad.
No. It's we don't tend to get snow very often. So, yeah. And that's why we don't know what to do when it does snow. It's like everything stops. It's like I said to James, I said, are you actually going into work then? Because normally we just say we can't get in and then we just work from home or whatever. And you're like, no, life doesn't stop.
Yeah. I mean, it's to be fair, that's the kind of problem they have in Merseyside when it snows because they're not used to it because they're coastal. So when it does snow, it's like, chaos erupts.
Oh, dear. So, but like I just said, believe it or not, after all of the crappy stuff that I've just been through, I have still got codswallop. So, I don't know, did you want to have some codswallop first or shall I go first?
I'm going to let you go first. I can't really think of any codswallop off the top of my head, but maybe I will be influenced by your codswallop and things will sprout forth in my memory, what's left of it.
Well, mine is kind of like a jokey codswallop, really, more than anything else. But you know how much I hate, with the giantest of passionists, Coldplay.
I know you're not a fan.
You know how much I hate them, right? Yeah. No, I absolutely despise Coldplay. And, if I go, not Coldplay. Coldplay's fine. The band, they're fine. Chris Martin, don't like Chris Martin. Anyway,
Okay, yeah.
So want to fly him to the moon so that he can, go off and do something else and leave us all alone, because he's so depressing, whatnot.
Okay.
Anyway, so my brother this year, who unfortunately does not have the same opinion as I do about Coldplay, asked me, I said to him, what would you like for Christmas? And he said, Coldplay's got a new album. So I had to go and spend £10 of my own money to buy him a stupid Coldplay album.
See, I'm going to guess that he really, really likes the potato riddle. Just as a guess, I bet he thinks it's the greatest riddle known to man.
To be fair, I'm just going to backtrack on that a second. But actually, it's pretty cool that, that is something that has sort of gone down in the generations. So from that side of things, it is really bitterly disappointing when you find out the answer. But it is actually really cool that it's gone through so many different generations to, sort of carry it on and whatnot. So from that point of view, it's actually quite cool. But again, the answer's really lame, so...
And moving on.
Whatever, you think it's impressive.
What I would say is I do have a way of solving your Coldplay CD problem.
Right.
Wire wool.
What I was thinking of doing was taking the disc out and then just putting a note in there saying Coldplay sucks.
I would say that and wire wool. The wire wool has an even more interesting situation because you'd see the note and you feel despondent.
Yeah.
But if you wire wool the CD and you put the CD in and play,
it'll be improved.
Exactly.
Yeah. So my big brother making me spend money on a stupid Coldplay album. So yeah, that's my codswallop this week. I must love him. That's all I have to say.
What has been more upsetting, hitting the deer and totaling the car, or having to buy a Coldplay thing?
Actually, yeah. That's actually a tough one, right?
It is. This is one where you're going to have to sit and spend many evenings pondering this one.
So, have you got any codswallop yet, or...?
The only codswallop is probably the more logical codswallop, the one that seems to cause me the most annoyance, but it was actually kind of funny because it seems that everybody was trying to get into work and had exactly... Well, not everybody, but people where I work were all trying to get in and experience the same problem. Annoyingly slow drivers. I know it's wet, people, but, going, the speed limit or slightly higher isn't going to kill you.
Well, it might do, James. I was doing under the speed limit.
Yeah. But in the road conditions I could see this morning, very unlikely. But you could have the last laugh because I overtook a van and it got me basically nowhere because I just got stuck in a row of traffic behind a slow-moving driver. So, yeah, exactly.
If that was me in the van, I'd have definitely been doing wanker signs as you were going past.
They were probably behind me going, look at that tosser in the Audi.
I definitely would.
Yep.
So, yeah. I'd be, definitely doing those gestures at you.
Yep.
So
Thinks he's hot shit, overtook us at high speed. He's got him nowhere. Tosser.
Well, I prefer wanker, but there you go. I know I got...
It's all good.
I'm aware of you saying that somebody's offended by swearing.
Yeah.
And I since have done nothing but. So I do apologise to whoever this mystery person is. It's not...
Do you hear the filthy tongue that I have to work with? Shocking.
I mean, if I was Joanne, this would be a hell of a lot worse.
Well, let's be honest, if it was me and Joanne, it'd be like, I was trying to edit out, does Joanne swear a lot? I don't know, but certainly lots of innuendo.
But then that's why we aren't PG rated.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
PG.
So.
We wouldn't have a chance of getting to PG even if we tried.
We wouldn't even with Tosser, James. So.
No. Even at our best. Think about it. We went on a live broadcast. Now, we didn't swear, but we were still laden with innuendo.
No, to be fair, we don't swear very often, but sometimes passion comes out. And sometimes...
Yes. I know, but I've sworn terribly in the past. So, yeah, I can... I know we don't mean it. We don't mean it in a nasty way. We
No.
mean it with love or something like that.
Yeah, I was going to say anything that's said on this podcast is meant as a joke. So yeah, people
Yes.
need to
Yes.
understand that, and hopefully they'll get that. So
It's all good.
you stop whispering. I can barely hear as it is.
It's all good. No. No, what I would say is we love you all. Well, apart from Chris Martin and Lily Allen. But
Do you know what? I even like Paul McCartney more. You know what I mean?
Well, do you know why? Because Paul McCartney is talented and Chris Martin, I'm sorry.
Paul McCartney was talented. But
See,
I'm sorry,
gonna
but have you...
yeah.
I have to interrupt here.
Okay.
Have you heard Meat Free Monday?
I've heard of the concept. Is
Have
it
you
a
heard
song?
the song?
No.
There you go then.
See, this reminds me of something that it was once suggested that we could go out, but obviously the distance and things, and if we ruined our friendship, it'd be awful. What would happen though? Here's the reality, and you can tell this to the person who suggested it. What would happen? You'd make some sort of comment against Paul McCartney. I'd make some sort of negative comment about something you liked, and they'd find both of us dead at the bottom of a lake somewhere. That's why it's a bad idea.
Or just at the bottom of the stairs because we couldn't be asked.
It'd be like Misery, wouldn't it? But we'd both be dead.
And we could have a little sign on us say, please download Talking Codswallop podcast.
Yeah, please download it now out in time for Sunday. That'd just be a message to Joanne, wouldn't it?
Yeah. She'd be like, I have no idea what to do.
Joanne, please rate the episode out of 5, not 10, underlined several times.
I think we'd survive a weekend together though.
Yes. Well, hopefully. It'd be pretty worried if we couldn't stand each other for like just a weekend.
Yeah. Or maybe even a week. I might stretch it out to a week, but maybe a month might be pushing it.
A month. Yeah, a month. I think we'd kill each other.
Yeah. Or we just leave. I think, there is the option where we can just get up and just walk away.
I've taken it to the absolute end level, though. Remember, I'm treating this like levels of Inception. Remember, spinning top. Damn you, spin.
Have you watched Inception recently or something?
No, but I've mentioned it rather a lot, but no, I haven't recently, no.
At least 4 or 5 times in this episode, so...
What can I say? I love that film. That'd be a good one. Celluloid Codswallop badge. So I'd love to do that as an episode. Yes,
that would be fantastic. And I'm sure you can find a DC connection as well.
I'm thinking about it. Leave it with me.
Yeah. Well,
I found one already. No, I found 2. No? Yeah, I definitely found 1.
Okay. Well, don't spoil it. No. Don't tell me right now, basically.
I might have found 2. I'll think about it, yeah.
Okay.
I have found 2. Excellent. Right, come.
Okay, because I think I can think of
3.
1 at least.
I found 3.
Okay, right, we're moving on. So actually, have you watched anything recently?
I've been watching rather religiously The Shrink Next Door, which is it's interesting. It's about a real life case of a shrink, the impact he has on his client's life. It kind of like takes control of it. It's Paul Rudd and who's the other chappie? Come on, he'll come to me. Will Ferrell, and obviously there is elements of comedy, but it's very much generally played straight. There's not too many laughs in it, but it's really good. It's quite hard to watch in parts, but it was good. And then I've that's the general thing I've watched sort of the most. Film wise, there's a review in the offing of Joanna and I going to do of a film I watched recently that I think we've come out from different angles. And since we last spoke, the big film I watched was, I watched No Time to Die, but I also watched Ghostbusters, which I know you've seen as well. I have now, yes. And I spent most of Ghostbusters crying. Oh, yeah. I definitely can
I definitely can realise, obviously, with regards to that. I think we should discuss a little bit of Ghostbusters, because it's been out for quite a while now. So, but we'll try not to spoil it as much as possible. Yeah. So,
I think I managed crying in like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
I honestly do. I think it was like in the first few minutes, I was like, "Oh God."
No, I absolutely loved that film. It was so amazing, honestly. And I thought it was like a perfect follow-on as well. Mm-hmm. And it was, I mean, there's this guy, I can't even remember his name. I've got no respect for the guy anyway, but he's done this really negative review on YouTube about it, and he's literally the first person that I've heard anyone have a negative review about it. But then he also said that he liked the female version, so I'm not going to listen to him.
Is it an actual guy who, is it a proper reviewer or just a YouTube guy?
I think he's actually an actual reviewer. I think his name's Mark something.
Mark Commode, yes. Yeah. Mark Commode, it's been Mark Commode is a BBC, he does stuff for the BBC for it, but he gave it quite a scathing review. He also took a shot to the original film, saying it wasn't as good as people thought. And he sort of saying that the reboot version wasn't too bad. I mean, everyone's entitled to the view of a film, but what was interesting is that the actual fans went after him and asked him to sort of like reconsider it, and I think he still slagged it off.
Which is good, because the thing is, it is a fan film, you know what I mean? And that is because it's got such a high following behind it. Mm-hmm. That I think high following is probably not the right wording there, but whatever. And this guy, I didn't even watch the whole interview because I was just like, nah, you're all right. As soon as I got to the point where he said that he liked the female version and he thought that was really funny, I was like, I'm turning this off right now.
It's an interesting thing that you kind of said, because some people, there will be people who didn't like the, Ghostbusters Afterlife, and that's a fair do. But when I was on Banterflix discussing the House of Gucci, the point that Jim made was interesting, and I can't remember if he made the recording or not, but we were talking about the Ghostbusters Afterlife and the emotional reaction I had to it. And he made an interesting observation, which is, he said, has it been made the way it has to get that emotional reaction from fans? Now, I could see what he meant. I don't think it's just that way. But I'm going to be honest, before I went to see Ghostbusters Afterlife, I kept saying to people, temper your expectations. Because my view is, I thought there's a real risk that this is not going to be a good film. It's going to be a disappointment to people. I was right on certain elements of when I was talking about the original people being in it, the level they were in it. But it met all my expectations, and it was a fan service film. So the concern I had is that people I know who are Ghostbusters fans are really dedicated fans, and if it had been awful, it would have absolutely destroyed them. But I feel it was a really good film, and it's one of the first films in a long, long time. After I watched it, I went straight onto Amazon to try and find out when I could get the Blu-ray. I was that impressed by it. So I loved it as a film, but I think it's probably true there is an element that it was used as a fan service film. What's your sort of view on that? I thought it was incredible, to be completely honest.
I think the girl, I actually don't know the actors and actresses' names, but I think like if anybody sort of like came into the film sort of watching it kind of not knowing who the family were, because it wasn't, they weren't saying who they were at first, was it?
That's correct.
You didn't get their surname, but you knew from the young girl whose family they were.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And obviously, because, like it was Spengler, wasn't it? Is that the surname? It was the
Spengler family, yeah.
I just couldn't remember if I pronounced it right. I knew that was the character, but, like obviously the actual actor has passed away. So.
Harold Ramis, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not very good with names today.
It's all good.
Yeah. It was such a heartwarming film. It was so amazing. And I think, I know this guy's name, Finn Wolfhard.
Yeah.
Only because I like Stranger Things and stuff like that. His character seemed a little bit like a drip, to be honest. So I didn't have that connection with his character, to be honest. That's not necessarily a reflection on him as an actor, but, but then I suppose he was being a teenage boy and most teenage boys are drips, aren't they? So, most, not all.
It's been a long time since I was a teenager, unfortunately, so I honestly can't remember.
Yeah. And I love how the town just accepted that there was an earthquake every day at a certain time.
I wonder, it does seem odd, but I wonder if that's maybe a bit of an American thing, fault lines and things, that you kind of do just get used to it. To our American listeners, please correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, get in touch.
Certainly with Afterlife, I can't fault it. I really enjoyed it. The only thing that I really am concerned about is if they make another one, because I almost feel it would be better not to, because you'll dilute the brand.
Yeah.
That's a real worry I have if they make another one. They could have ended it, I think, with Afterlife, and it'd be great. It meets the expectations. And the thing I would say, like, the Ghostbusters people who are fans I know are, as I was saying, really dedicated. So Ghostbusters to me does mean a lot, because I got to meet people that I would ordinarily have never met who are real big fans of it, who I've stayed friends with from events, which in turn, where it means, I think the big emotional impact of the film, probably why I spent like 95% to probably, let's be honest with myself, 98% of the film sobbing, is because it gives you a lift back to your childhood. Yeah. So that's probably where the big thing for me is. And then again, the Ghostbusters thing for me is I've got to speak to people who've been involved with it. So to me, it's always a really interesting sort of thing, a dynamic. And I'm just glad it worked out as a film, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. And it was so, towards the end, again, anybody who hasn't seen this, I'm not going to spoil it, but there's like, there's a connection.
It's really hard.
It is, yeah. There's obviously a ghost that is welcomed. Let's put it that way. And,
yes. Good way of putting it. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
They.
Yeah. We'll call it a he.
Okay. Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's kind of like a moment where, like everybody manages to connect with the ghost that is wanted. And it's so, like, I can see why, because I know James, and also the same for Ian as well, that, well, most people I've heard from have sort of said that they, were burst into tears at that time. Yeah. Because I knew that something sad was going to happen, I didn't personally cry, but I literally had all the feels. Do you know what I mean? I had I had goosebumps on top of goosebumps, and it wasn't just because the cinema was cold. It was insane. It was such a heartwarming, touching moment, and it's something that you really want to happen in real life as well, isn't it? So,
if you were sat with me, you'd be like, "Yeah, we've lost him. He's gone." I tell you what would be interesting to know, because most of the people I know who have seen it, who are, as I said, Ghostbusters fans, and I think I said this when I was doing the Clean Up the Town interview, they're amongst the most, they astound me on the dedication, because I've met Star Trek fans who I thought were dedicated, but these are people who, they do the costumes to a level of accuracy that is just, it blows your mind. The packs, the whole thing. I'm still in awe of them, the ones that I've met, and I'd be interested to know. The general consensus I've seen of the fans who were like the proper Ghostbusters fans has been that they cried, they wept throughout it. But I'd be interested to know, because on the fans I've seen a gender mix of both men and women, but have more men cried than women. Now that interests me, and I bet it could be more men. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, I can see that as well, but I think, like I said, I would have probably cried if I wasn't kind of...
If you'd not, yeah.
Yeah, if I hadn't have been informed that something sad had happened, because it's like, when I watch a horror film, it's very rare that a horror film will scare me because, scare me. I just caught how I spoke then. But no, it's very rare anyway that, anything will scare me to a point, because I'm always listening out for the music to change, and I'm always sort of on guard for that thing to sort of jump out at me. You know what I mean? So, don't get me wrong, there's still films that do scare me, and that's why I watch horror films, for that scare. But I'm always on guard. So I suppose in the sense that it would probably been the same for this one as well. So, but yeah, I definitely, if I was giving it out of 5, it would have got a 4.
Yeah, I want Joanne to watch it so she can tell me what she'd give it out of 10.
She give it 4.
No, we love you, Joanne. We love you. You know that. No, but an interesting point you just made was you talk about the music, and I think that's the other thing that emotionally sets you off, because you have the emotional link. Because I'm not giving it, well, I'm kind of giving it away, but it's a different different musician, but they use pretty much the original score within the film, and that astounding because you don't see that a lot on sequels, so they use exactly the same stuff. But yeah, love that. And that's another thing I think that sets you off a bit.
Yeah. And also some really cool Easter eggs as well, wasn't there? So
very good Easter eggs.
One related to marshmallows.
That's true. One related to book stacking was certainly within there. I did like, just going back to my celluloid codswallop. I was going to say, co-host on that section, my mistress. I would just like to point out that when I mentioned to both you and Joanne that you need to bring tissues, you understood I meant from an emotional standpoint. She suggested I was knocking one off in the cinema. So.
I mean, it could have been a 50-50 chance of that, though, James.
It's true. But I enjoyed it that much. Avert your eyes, people. I love this film that much. So a mixture of sobbing and doing that.
It's like salty either way, isn't it?
People there were getting very mixed emotions from this man.
You're crying and that's the lube. But no, definitely I did really enjoy that film. So I think I definitely will be going out and buying that when it comes out. So I'm not going to go to the cinema again to watch it, but it just happened to be because I had I'm having to get public transport at the moment, so happened to be in town. It was literally just about to start, so I was like, right, I'm going in.
How busy was it?
It wasn't at all.
That's the thing you've also seen in other. It's done well financially, but you've seen lots of shots of cinemas that are not that full.
Yeah,
and that surprises me.
I suppose also because it was a daytime show, but also it's kind of like the rush would have been at the very beginning as well, wouldn't it?
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing that I found really, it's very strange on the way it was released, though, to a lot of cinemas in the UK, because I kept looking to try and watch it at the View, and they were just, their release pattern was weird as hell.
Okay.
They just didn't release it for everyone else was releasing it quite in advance so people could book, and it was selling well. Mm-hmm. But the View released it on weird, sporadic, very late release point. But it's interesting because I always like, if a big film's coming out, I always like to have a look at the booking at cinema to see how well it's doing.
Yeah.
So the one I always herald back to is when Batman vs Superman came out, because I was at a showing of The Man of Steel beforehand, the day before. So I hit the midnight release, and the cinema was packed. I've never seen anything like it. Every floor, the still like a 3-level cinema. The people were full on the escalators. It was crazy. And then jump forward to when Ghostbusters Answer the Call came out. It was dead.
Yeah.
I remember looking, and this is no disservice to people who are involved to the film. Some people like it, some people don't. But it was just, there was no one booking it.
No.
And I've never ever seen stuff that empty before. They were just like, there's no one there. There was no interest in it at all. Yeah. And they had showings on all over the show, but people just didn't go to it. And obviously that's why it failed so badly.
Well, I mean, but also it failed so badly because it was crap. And it's a shame because actually the actresses, they're actually really, really talented, and they're, funny comedians for the most part as well. So it's actually shocking that it didn't work, but then that kind of shows how maybe the script wasn't that great. So,
well, I will say Mr. and Mrs. Slimer were wonderful in it.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think part of the I remember when the trailer came out to Ghostbusters Answer the Call, I sat down and watched the trailer with my dad and just said, what do you reckon? And his comment was pretty much the nail on the head, really. He just said, well, I wouldn't want to do Ghostbusters. He goes, I won't want to even touch it. He goes, to try and follow that with something else. So we have to, a lot of people send reviews, we have to thank Ghostbusters Answer the Call for not being successful, because we wouldn't have got Ghostbusters Afterlife. And there is some truth to that. You've got to have some stumbles before you can have, soaring success, as they say. So it all works out in the end.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And also I think that the fact that it's it kind of was like very family minded within the film. Yeah. But also because there's that family connection of, like the people who have directed it, you know what I mean, and written it and stuff
the
like
Rymans,
that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I think, that was hammered home, in the actual film and stuff. So,
I definitely preferred it to No Time to Die.
Not seen that one, so.
I rewatched No Time to Die. I liked it more the second time, but it doesn't feel very Bond-like to me, but we're straying into other territory. So yeah,
I've never really been a Bond fan, so I don't really know much about that one. Sorry, can't really interject very much with that one. So sorry.
It's all good. It's all good.
The other thing that I've been watching, other than my usual American Horror Story, because that was a new series that came out of that. I love that program. So I will always watch it. Not always do I love every version of it, but for the most part I do. After I was watching it, there was this recommendation to watch another program called The Strain, which is on Disney Plus.
Yeah, you mentioned that, I think, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I mentioned it to you, and it is so good. If you like horror and supernatural type things, it's got Sean Astin in it.
Goonies. Yeah, Goonies.
Yeah, from the Goonies. Yeah. I did find the information, but then it just disappeared. So there we go. Oh, it's got David Bradley in it. So I don't know if you know who that is.
Is he English?
Yes, he is English. He's been in Doctor Who. He's been in Game of Thrones. He's been in Harry Potter, which is where I recognised him from, and he's also in Hot Fuzz as well.
Yep. Oh yeah, I've just stuck his picture up. Yeah, he did like a version of playing Patrick. I think it's Patrick Troughton's the first Doctor. If I'm wrong, don't go after me, Whovians.
No, that's fine.
But he's very good. I like David Bradley. The first thing I can remember him from is I think he was in a television version of Our Mutual Friend. Yes, in the 90s. He was very good. Yeah, I like David Bradley. He's good.
Yeah. Oh, it's got Rupert Penry Jones as well. He's got your twin, your double.
The guy who, when I cut all my hair off, I've been told I look like. Yeah, and just to level up, it's William Hartnell. So don't go after me. It's bad enough when you're attacking me on Twitter over a .2 comment. So
I won't let anyone go after you, James. But anyway, so this is really, really cool, and it's got. So basically what happens at this is kind of first episode, so I'm not really spoiling much, to be honest. But I'll just, not carry on with the description of it. But there's this aeroplane which is carrying something, and they don't know what it is that they're carrying. It's kind of halfway through, the stewardesses are saying that, there seems to be a problem down below, where all the storage and stuff is, not down below in the dodgy sense. And so there's this box that's been added onto the plane, and it's been put on there by the government, so it's not a listed item.
Ooh.
All of a sudden, so like chaos kind of happens up in the air, but all of a sudden then the plane is on the runway and it's cold. So it's cold as in like it's not flown anywhere, or it's landed but it's been there for ages, kind of thing. So so then obviously they have to get a company in that are sort of like investigate diseases and stuff like that. They have technical names, but I can't remember what it was. So they all suit up and stuff like that, put hazard gear on and stuff like that, go onto the plane, and find that all of the passengers are dead. Literally everybody. There's the pilots and everybody who was on that plane is dead. But as they're sort of investigating, 4 of those people become alive again. Yeah. Yeah, but they're actually alive, so they're not,
Oh, right, alive, properly. Oh,
they're properly alive.
I like it. Sounds interesting.
Or are they?
Oh, bloody hell! See, I have seen this. I think it doesn't. It's not on now, is it? It's an old series, so I'm gonna have to have a look for it. Yeah.
Yeah, it is an older series. Basically, it's kind of like following on the story. So there's one person who is, let's say it's in New York City. I can't remember. Most disasters happen in New York City, so it's probably that. So basically, it's like this company, the health and safety people think that it's a virus because there's like all these like worm type things underneath the skin. Yeah. But also, all of the people that are dead come alive. And they all return home. So it's like everybody's infected, everyone who's been infected by this thing, that they need to go and visit the families. So I've got to the point where they're visiting the families and they're actually, off with their head, so to speak, and burning the houses down and stuff.
I think I'm going to have a look for this because this just sounds so weird. Yeah. I'm going to have a look for this.
It is absolutely fantastic. And it's all because of a rich person who needs a kidney transplant. That's the reason.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the sound of this. This sounds good. Yeah. It was interesting when you also mentioned American Horror Story. What I did finish watching was the American Crime Story.
Oh, yeah.
Run, because they did them about OJ and... Oh God! There's a second one they did that I never got to the end of that. I keep promising myself I'll watch, which was about Versace, killing of Versace. But this one was about Monica Lewinsky and Bill Clinton, and it's very interesting stuff. Very interesting. And very well acted actually as well. And unsurprisingly, Sarah Paulson was in it. Shock horror.
She's amazing. I absolutely love her.
You wouldn't recognise her in this. Yeah. They did an amazing job making her look like Linda Tripp. So, yeah. Wow. Yeah.
She is such a versatile actress or actor. I don't know what the political term is now, but, like what we're supposed to call them and stuff. But, yeah, it's like literally like the latest American Horror Story. It, like you said, she doesn't, I know you're not referring to that, but she doesn't look like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she's had so many different roles within this series. Like, if she's not in it, it's going to be so sad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, she's one of my favourite actresses now, definitely.
She's incredibly good. I've yet to see anything that hasn't impressed me.
Yeah.
And I loved her girlfriend, who was. Do you remember? 2.5 Men.
Yes.
You're the mother.
Yeah.
That's her partner in real life, and I think she cracks me up something rotten because I know her more from comedy. I think she's brilliant. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
It's very cool.
Yeah, very, very cool. Very, very 2021.
Yes. I'm woke. I'm 20. I'm woke. I'm with it.
I think we both just said woke at the same time as well then, didn't we? But no, I do. I like her. I like her as an actress. So yeah, it sounds good.
Cool.
I have to check that out. So obviously we've been recording for a while now, plus the 19 minutes at the beginning. Again, the episode is called Oh Dear for a reason, but for multiple reasons. Shall we move on to Story of the Week?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Did you want to go first or shall I go first?
I'll let you go first to make sure I'm not, crossed wires.
Okay. So you want a penis story to go first. Okay. Here we go.
I've definitely not picked that one so far away.
Okay, so the headline reads, and this is from the Metro people. So, here we go.
It's going to end abruptly.
So it's called Cock Up as 3 giant stone penises stolen from a shop. Dun, dun, dun. A CCTV cock-up has left cops facing a hard job trying to find the culprit behind this crime. 3 giant penis-shaped garden ornaments have been snatched from a shop, which hit the headlines after the owner refused to remove one of the obscene statues from his window display.
Okay.
It's not obscene. Jason Hadlow, 58, owner of Simply Dutch in Leeming Bar, North Yorkshire. Do you know what that is? Leeming Bar?
Leeming Bar?
Yeah, Leeming-Bar.
Lemming Bar?
It could be Lemming Bar, yeah.
I don't know. I've not heard of it.
Okay, well, we need to Google. We need to Google this.
Okay.
So we might have to pop you down to a place called Simply Dutch, okay?
Okay.
Because it can't be that far. North Yorkshire can't be that far. Big.
It's pretty big, but yeah.
All right, but you got a car. You can drive there. You could be like our roaming reporter.
Yeah. What's this place called?
Simply Dutch. Which kind of sounds like it's potentially like a pawn shop, but maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'm just guessing. Anyway, so he's from North York.
Right, yep.
Yeah?
Oh, keep going. I'm going to mute and just research.
Okay, cool. So he's from North Yorkshire, as we've established, and was forced to look on as his beloved 4-foot masonry manhood was seized in 2020 following complaints from the public. But the defiant businessman declined to pay the £80 fine to have the stone sculpture returned to him, and instead ordered 150 more from Indonesia. The incident led to him launching the Free Willy campaign. If James wasn't muted right now, he would probably be giggling at that as well.
Indeed.
With pictures of concrete penises appearing online in various locations. North Yorkshire Police eventually bowed to pressure and released the statue to the shop. But now, 11 years on, the final 3 ornaments were stolen around 10 p.m. on Monday night. The thieves, that's really easy to say. The thieves also took 5 cast iron stags and 5 concrete dogs, said Jason, who lives in the town of Yarm. You know Yarm?
And well, I've had a look. I mean, I do know these places because looking into it, the actual places in Northallerton, which I know, but it's about an hour from me. The shop itself seems to basically just be selling sort of like, it makes things out of wood, and it sells stuff that you use, like, say nameplates and things for your house and to put in, say, your garden, things like that. So it's not anything particularly of the pornographic variety. It's just seems to be like an outdoorsy sort of woody, signposty sort of place. So it looks kind of interesting.
Yeah, well, maybe if you go for a visit there, let me know.
I will do.
And you can, I don't know.
I'm looking at a map. So I do, because you're going to you're past Fountains Abbey to get to it. So I've got a rough idea where this is, actually.
Ah, awesome. Okay, so the story continues. I can't believe anyone would want to steal some concrete willies. I love the use of willies. The shop owner said, It's the end of an era. They were sentimental to me. It's a big story at the time. Or it was a big story at the time. I'll probably not see anything like them again. I'm a bit sad, but ultimately, we weren't selling them. I hope that they will get some use out of them. I can't imagine what. The statues often used as bollards, not bollocks.
Yes, I was going to say, is that a slight, slip of the tongue? But go on. Yeah, euphemism or slip of the tongue.
Or water fountains. You don't want a penis-shaped water fountain. Where's it going to come from?
Some pervert somewhere will, I'm sure.
It's like, Mum, you know how you like things for the garden? Merry Christmas.
I'm just thinking. So
not that my mum's a pervert, shall I say quickly?
I'm just thinking though. So penis-shaped stuff for like your gardens gone missing.
Yeah.
When did this happen? When was this?
I don't know. They keep referring to 2020, so it might not be.
So probably last year. I'm just going to say, Joanne, where were you? Where were you at this time?
Friday the 12th of November. So
Yeah. Where were you?
Fairly up to date. We're fairly up to date with it.
Yeah. Where were you at that time? Were you on a biking holiday by any chance? Because you did mention that Simon's like got his knackered knees or back carrying all your stuff all the time. I'm saying nothing.
Let's see if there's much more to this story. So
It's the metro. It'll get to the most important thing and then bump, closed off.
Okay. I had them in the window at the time. Somebody complained that it was offensive. This was back in 2010.
Oh, right. Okay.
I think that was anyway, because I kind of skipped. Yes. Yes, so 20 years.
Where were you then in 2010, Head Scout? Where were you?
I mean, you know, you're kind of overlooking the fact that I would potentially get this as well and nick them.
Okay. Well, did you both join forces?
We did. Yeah. Shh, don't
it all
tell
makes
anyone.
sense, yeah.
If anybody is offered a metre-high concrete penis or full-cast iron stag, I'd really appreciate it if people could contact the police or alternatively the shop in the strictest confidence. Jason said CCTV footage managed to capture the thieves, but they could not be identified due to poor lighting conditions. Okay, here we go. We should have had night vision out there, but frankly, we cocked up.
Oh, dear.
Okay, that's kind of the end as the sense that I don't really want to read anymore.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, we know it's a Metro article, so if the Metro had written about World War II, they would have ended it with this, and Hitler was in the bunker. And you'd be like,
I just took
is
a
there
mouthful
more?
of drink at the same time.
Is there more? What else happened? But that's it. The way the Metro ended, it'd just be, and Hitler and Eva Braun were in the bunker.
Oh dear.
You know it's true. They're writing.
I
It's
do.
just so bad, so abysmally bad.
Yep. Exactly. I do know. But then, I always pick the Metro because of that reason.
Yep. And in honour of someone mentioned earlier, Begorra.
Yeah.
My article, I think, would help you with a problem.
Okay.
Which is, you asked me a question only yesterday. What do you do to keep a dog in, or what does a dog want? Now, in the case of your dog, it's postal flesh. But I found this article that's interesting, which links in, because the other thing I watch is The Simpsons, and they actually made light of this on The Simpsons. Now, I know they always make the comment about Simpsons predicting the future, or could it be that The Simpsons just heard about this and mentioned it? I don't know. But what would a dog want? Well, man's best friend no longer has to put up with joining humans on the sofa for soaps or the latest binge-watch series. Soon, the nation's dogs will have a range of specialist pooch-friendly content to enjoy. So, I kid you not, Dog TV is a new television network created specifically for our four-legged friends. It's launching in the UK on Monday. Created after 3 years of research, the channel will air scientifically tested programming aiming to alleviate symptoms of conditions such as separation anxiety, loneliness and stress.
Aww.
Bosses say it will have shows to help owners better understand and look after their pets. And they've got a lovely picture of a black lab just staring at I think it's Alsatian on the TV.
I mean, to be honest, for the from the side of things where, you know, sometimes you have to leave the dog unattended for like a couple of hours or whatever. Yeah, fair enough. But also you should be able to just kind of get to know your own dog. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, what they've said with this is it's designed to, the channel has been developed following studies into animal psychology and psychological needs. And its colours, audio frequencies and camera alignment have all been adapted to cater to dog senses. Could be interesting.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
It could be interesting. I remember somebody I worked with was saying how, I think it was like a vehicle with sirens or something went past. And there was a dog outside and they looked a bit stunned. And my colleague was saying how, if we think it's loud, imagine what it must be like to a dog, because they've got obviously more sensitive hearing. So I think that's pretty good if it'll work. this could be what the Simpsons thing was based on, where they all had dog-based TV. But if it's something you can get, you can show it to your doggy and see whether they like it or not.
Well, I mean, how much is the subscription? That's the only thing.
That's a good question. Dog TV. I'm looking as we speak. It doesn't tell me.
Okay. Well, I would look into it.
Dog TV. Sort your sodding Twitter page out.
I tell you what, I'm gonna click save on the audio because I daren't go off and do anything. Oh, you know what? I have a phone right by me. I can just use my phone.
Basically, I'm stuck watching lovely doggies on little things on the dog TV on this morning, but I can't actually find anything that tells me particularly about how to get.
Oh, it's okay. There's a free trial.
Yep.
So obviously everybody loves a free trial, or it's $6.99 a month, which is basically the same cost as Netflix. So it's whether I want to give up Netflix or have the dog have his own TV. So I might do the free trial though and test it and see what it's like. That'd be quite fun.
Be interested in scientific experiment, how well it works.
Yeah. Yeah, especially with my dog, because my dog's got no attention span whatsoever unless there's a green ball involved. You know what I mean? It's like, let's play.
Or the promise of posty flesh.
Yeah, actually, he's been really good today.
Excellent.
It's only a certain postman that he doesn't like, but it's not that he doesn't like him. He can smell his fear, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
So, yeah, because the other postman is really, really fearful. So, yeah, we had quite a successful day today where the doorbell rang and he moved back to his spot where he was supposed to stop. And after I told him, obviously, too, he laid down and stayed there until I opened the door and then stayed. So that was good.
Nice one. What's the dog called? It's not Satan. What's your dog called?
He's not Satan. He's a soppy thing. He's lovely.
What's he called?
Yeah, Mr. Socks.
Oh, Mr. Socks.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah, so he is a lovely, lovely dog. So, I know we joke about him being like the devil dog and stuff, but he is a lovely dog. So
it'd be cool. All I say is it'd be cool if you had the dog from Afterlife.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, man, if that bit you. Oh, you know about it.
Yeah, definitely. We don't want that to happen. Well, James, I don't know about you, but I think it's time to wrap up this episode and put it to bed. What do you think?
I would agree. I think we've been talking enough codswallop.
Yeah, I do too. Just also a little bit of, a little bit of audio there. Well, we're gonna take off, I think anyway, the weekend of the Sunday of the 26th of December, because it's Boxing Day in this country. Mm-hmm. And Boxing Day is part of Christmas when it comes to England and Canada and potentially anywhere else in the world. So yeah, we're gonna take a day off if that's all right with everybody. Have a week off. If it's not all right with everybody, we're going to do it anyway. So, yes, so we may have, it may be me and James next week. Mm-hmm. It may be James and Joanne next week. It may be no one next week. Who knows what's going to happen? Yeah. But for this week, I have been Gemma.
I have ever been James.
And we've been talking Codswallop.
We certainly have.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.